Yeah. Thank you. We were saying that trends come and trends go. What is fashionable today will not be fashionable forever. Gadgets come and gadgets go. The gadgets that are in today are going to be out tomorrow. There are people whose financial decisions are controlled by trends. But we are saying in Kingdom Business Academy and Kingdom Financial Institute, we are saying that our decisions must be guided by principle, not what is fashionable. Our decisions must be guided by time-tested principles, truth, not by what others are buying and what others are not buying. So there is danger in keeping up with the Joneses. We don't even know where they're getting their income from. We don't even know the source of their income. Is that source of income godly? Is it clean money? Imagine you trying to compete with a drug dealer or somebody who is getting money through some evil means. This idea of keeping up with people that we don't even know has caused many to make detrimental financial decisions. That's why we are lingering longer in this topic. Because the majority of people, we know what to do mentally, but our decisions are controlled by our emotions that are influenced by other people's bad decisions. Therefore, we need to ask ourselves, why do I make the financial decisions that I make on a daily or weekly and monthly basis? Why? What drives my decision making? We have to analyze that. Why do I own the car that I own? Why did I make the decision to buy that expensive vehicle? What am I trying to mask in me? What am I trying to portray to the community that is around me? Was the decision based on principle, or was the decision based on emotions? Was the decision based on biblical principle, or was the decision based on what the neighbor purchased? Are you in a group of people where your decisions are mob-based? We may not actually be realizing it, but most of our financial decisions are influenced by the mob. We look around us. What we see influences what we buy. And in the majority of cases, what we buy is not what we need. There are things that we have in our homes that we can live without. There are things in our garages that we could live without. There are things in our closets that we can live without. But based on our desire to keep up with others, we made financial decisions that has kept us in poverty or struggling from paycheck to paycheck just to keep up with somebody who doesn't even know us, somebody who doesn't even care, somebody we don't even know, somebody we don't even know the source of their income, somebody we're not going home with. Just because you attended a birthday party, or just because you went into somebody's home and saw something, should never be the reason you buy something. So we are saying that if you are a kingdom citizen, if you are a child of God, if you call yourself a true Christian, there are biblical principles that we must, not we may, but we must align ourselves with. And one of those is stewardship, where the Bible tells us that we don't own anything and that everything that we have belongs to God. Including ourselves, we don't belong to ourselves. We belong to God. Therefore, if we belong to God, if I belong to God, whatever I purport to own, I don't actually own. Everything belongs to God. So if everything that I have belongs to God, then it reasons that whatever I own must benefit God primarily. So the question now becomes, am I making financial decisions to benefit the owner of the resources that I have? Everything that you have has been entrusted to you by God for a season. I wish somebody could write that down somewhere on the chart for others to see. Everything that you have has been entrusted to you by God for a season and also for a reason. Everything that you have. You don't own anything. You don't own the body that you have. You don't own the mind that you have. You don't own the mind that is creating the businesses and the ideas. You don't even own the mind. You don't own the oxygen that you breathe. You don't own the water and the food that you eat. You are owned by God, by creation and by redemption. He created you. You went lost. He found you, and he paid for you through his own blood. Therefore, everything that you have, everything that I have, belongs to God. And what we use and how we use it matters to God. There is this erroneous belief that once I have returned my tithes, and once I have given an offering, what remains belongs to me. I can do whatever I want with it. Far from the truth. Even what remains after you have returned a faithful tithe and you have given, whatever remains still belongs to God. Yes, he allows it to use it because it's entrusted to us for a season. If you want blessings on your income, if you want blessings on your money, just ensure that you operate from the point of management, not ownership. Are you managing, or you think you're an owner? Because if the mentality is of ownership, then you don't care what God says about our money. We don't care because we own it. But the reality is that we own nothing. God owns everything. So when we make financial decisions just to keep up with the Joneses, we are making a terrible mistake. Because that money must not benefit our image, but must benefit God's image, because it belongs to God. So we're going to look at some of the things that we do. Some of the things that we do in order to keep up with the Joneses, and how we can avoid those pitfalls that has caused us to remain stagnant financially. Some of us are not able to invest because the disposable income is consumed in keeping up with the appearances. So we have to look critically at what we can do, and also examine ourselves and to see what are the dangers and what are the activities that we do. Because you may actually think that I don't keep up with the Joneses because I don't have the Joneses. But when you analyze yourself, you realize that most of our financial decisions, we make them because we want to keep up, even though we may not be conscious of it. Some of these behaviors are driven subconsciously. We make decisions that are detrimental to us. Anybody with administrative privileges, please accept the people that are coming in, so that I don't have to be doing that. All right, so we are going to look at these things and identify them. And not only identify them, but also figure out how we can do, or what we can do, to ensure that we don't get caught up in them. Number one, we talked about it last week, but we want to start there. Number one is luxury vehicles. Luxury vehicles. There is an erroneous belief that the car that you drive determines your image and whether you are wealthy or not. So the idea is that if my neighbors are driving a BMW and the latest Mercedes-Benz or the latest Tesla, the idea that if I don't drive the same kind of vehicle, then it means that I am poor. I am presenting an image to them that I'm struggling financially. So I make a decision now, although my finances are not adequate to do that, although it's not a need for me, although the car that I'm currently driving, it's roadworthy and reliable and has never given me problems, although the vehicle that I am is paid up and actually still in good mechanical condition, just because the neighbor across the street is pulling in a new whip, I'm saying, hey, I gotta do that. Therefore, you actually go to the showroom and pick up a new vehicle, not because you needed it, but because the neighbor purchased the new vehicle. You don't even know how they are struggling to make the payments. You don't know that they're actually living from paycheck to paycheck. Or you don't even know that it's a company vehicle. But then you make a decision to go and buy a luxury vehicle. Why is the purchasing of a luxury vehicle a pitfall? Number one, we said before that a wealth builder does not buy an asset that depreciates. If whatever you are buying today will end up with a lower value than you purchased it, it's not a good buy for a wealth builder. And luxury vehicles are notorious for that. And new vehicles are notorious for that. And we said you buy a new vehicle today, by the end of 90 days, or some vehicles, 6 months, they have already lost 30% of their value. Should you want to sell the same vehicle that you purchased at $50,000 a month ago, you cannot get $50,000 from it. And that's a terrible purchase. Wealth builders do not do that. Because you lose twice. Purchasing a new vehicle, a brand new vehicle, and purchasing a luxury vehicle, whether it's new or old, you lose twice. Number one, you lose every time the vehicle loses value, because every month you keep it, it's losing value. So the $50,000 that you put in it, it's losing value with the vehicle. So what it means that at the end of 5 years, you cannot, at the end of 5 months or 1 month, 1 year, you cannot sell the same vehicle for the same value because it is depreciated. Now, in business, if the vehicle is being used for business, it's a completely different story. Because in business, there's depreciation that you can apply. As a deduction on your taxes. But if you're an individual who doesn't own a business, you cannot do that. Secondly, if the vehicle is used for business, it means that it's bringing income. Therefore, while it is depreciating in value, it's bringing more than the depreciation itself. So at the end of the day, that depreciating asset is bringing more income to you. The only reason that justifies you buying a brand new vehicle or a luxury vehicle, that is if it becomes a tax saving or avoiding, legal avoiding scheme. Then yeah, do that. But as long as you are an individual and you are not using that vehicle for business, it does not make sense. I have been in business for more than 25 years. I have never purchased a brand new vehicle, even for the business itself. because it doesn't make sense. So we are saying that luxury vehicles are a financial pithole. And the sad reality is that you are tied up for 70-something months, for 60-something months. And during that period, you cannot even breathe, paying monthly installments. And the bank, if you don't do that, they will come and repossess the vehicle. When they sell it cheap, do you know where repossessed vehicles are sold? They are sold at the auction for cheap. They are not sold on the private market at their value. No, they are sold at the auction at wholesale prices, and in most of the cases below wholesale price. So what it means is that after the vehicle has been repossessed and sold, you still have to pay for the difference. I was talking to a gentleman a couple of months ago who, when that happened to him, he was left with $20,000 for a vehicle that he doesn't own, a vehicle that has been taken and sold in auction, a vehicle that was worth about $35,000, but it was purchased at the auction for $15,000. Imagine that. And he was left with $20,000 to pay for a vehicle that he doesn't own. It's the most painful thing ever. That's why it's never a good idea to buy a luxury vehicle or a new vehicle. You lose as the asset depreciates, but you also lose through interest, because nobody buys a new vehicle for cash. It's always on credit. It's a loan that you're given. And did you know that those loans are not cheap? And every time you miss a payment, the interest goes up. I saw somebody's note a couple of weeks ago. They're paying 25% per year. 25% per year on a loan, which means that after 4 years, you can guess what happens. You have paid double the value of the vehicle, while the vehicle itself has lost value. I mean, it's like you're a cigarette where you are burning from both ends. You can never win in that scenario. So what does a wisdom influenced decision look like? Said, you buy a vehicle cash, and a good vehicle should not cost you more than $5,000. They are there, those vehicles. They are roadworthy. They are about 5 to 10, 15 years old, but they are intact. They are mechanically reliable, and they take you anywhere in the United States. You can drive thousands and thousands of miles. They are intact. They are there, those vehicles. It does not make sense to buy a new vehicle. Anybody who knows what I'm talking about, they'll tell you it's one of the worst things to do. Number 2, lavish vacations. Vacation photos flooding social media often trigger us to desire to take extravagant trips and vacations in destinations that we cannot even afford, just because of the pictures that you saw on social media. Somebody went somewhere and took pictures. You don't even know why they went there and what they did to go there. You don't, but just those pictures can trigger us to desire to go somewhere, so that we can also post our pictures, and then so that we can also look like we have the means to do that. When we know that our income cannot afford those exotic vacations. Yes, that's the trend, but can your income support that trend? What you don't know is that they have used a credit card to fund that vacation. What you don't know that they have ignored their current debts and financial obligations to fund that vacation. But upon return, when they come back, there are hefty bills to pay, causing them to go through what we call post-vacation traumatic syndrome. It's real, or what we call vacation blues. All that short-lived positive experience of that weekend and the day, you come back, you are going to pay for it for a year. Imagine that. You're going to struggle as a result of it. You're going to struggle for 3 years as a result of it. You're going to miss important payments and miss good sleep as a result of it. While the prudent looked within their own state, looked at the places that they can afford and go there for a day or two. That's being realistic. What can I afford with my income? Somebody just goes in their backyard. Some of the things that we think we will benefit as a result of these exotic vacations, lavish vacations, we realize after we come back that we have been sold a lemon. Oh, hear me. I am not saying there's anything wrong with going for a vacation if you can afford it, if you have saved for it, if it is within your budget. If it doesn't, underline, if it doesn't make you overspend, we have to analyze our own ability. Is it a line on the budget? Have we been saving for it? Nothing wrong with visiting places, as long as there's a plan for it. There's cash for it. We have not prioritized it above the needs of the family. Imagine going for a vacation and then realize we come back that the child does not have school fees and tuition. Imagine going for a vacation and only to come back to realize that you have no money for mortgage. Third, unnecessary home renovations. Oh, this is one of those places where people have made some very, very unnecessary mistakes. Unnecessary home renovations. Home improvement surely can enhance the house and the comfort and the value of the home. But they can also become a trap, a financial trap, especially to those that are trying to keep up with the Joneses. You see that your neighbor are remodeling their kitchen with high-end appliances and marble countertops and feeling left out. You make the decision to take out a home equity loan and you increase your debt while the renovation itself is not adding value to the house. Did you know that you can make an expensive, unnecessary home renovation that actually does not add value to the house? Because your house value is determined by other houses in the area. And the worst decision you can make is to make your house the most expensive in the area that you live in. Because it will not be purchased based on its value, but it will be purchased based on the values of the homes that are in the neighborhood. And some people become so frustrated after they have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in unnecessary home renovations, only to discover when they are selling the house that what they did not even move an inch on the value of the house itself. So before you make any unnecessary home renovations, consult the professionals to see if the intended renovation will actually add value to the house. If not, then don't do it. Just because others are doing it doesn't make that you need to do it. Don't feel pressured to take out a loan just because others are going through some renovations. Yes, I'm saying that there are some renovations that are necessary for the comfort of the family, but never for the competition with the neighbor. Another reason is to buy a larger house than you can actually afford. Size of the house. There is madness in this area where people buy a 5-bedroom house, a 4-bedroom house, and there is just a husband and wife and probably a 1-year-old child. They have a 6,000 square home and they only use 1,000. Yet they are paying for the other 5,000. You can actually live comfortably, very comfortably, in a medium-built house, a medium-sized house. Just because your neighbors are in a 5,000 square feet house doesn't mean that they need it. The rest of the space is air. You are paying for air. Air is living in those bedrooms. Imagine paying for air. I am in this business of maintaining homes. I know what I'm talking about. There are people who pay for maintenance of bedrooms that they've never used in a year, not even a single day. I know of a couple that is in the past 3 years They have changed their kitchen twice, paying more than $130,000 for a kitchen, a kitchen that they never use. They actually eat out almost every day. When they don't eat out, they buy food and they eat at home. We were laughing about it. The oven, a double, those double ovens, one on top, one below. Those double ovens that cost more than $10,000. That's what they have. But in those double ovens, they have never been used, not even once. In one of them, the lower one, there was a drop of oil that probably came from heating or warming a pizza. Imagine buying a $10,000 appliance just to warm a pizza one day in 3 years. That's what we call unnecessary home renovations. Number 4, fashion and gadgets. Fashion and gadgets. The constant influx of new fashion trends and tech gadgets can lead us into making impulsive spending, unnecessary spending. We talked about it, but we have to emphasize it. Cell phones. Why does Apple and Samsung and other like Google, why do they bring out a new version of their cell phone every year? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why do they have to bring out a new version every year? Yet the warranty on the phone, some of them are 3 years. Have you ever asked yourself? It means that this thing is functional. Here's what they changed. Some of the changes are so minor, yet they want you to believe that this one here, that for this year, is the best that they've ever done. And if you don't have it, you are missing out. You are not missing out. Believe me, you are not missing out. Here's what the prudent do. They hold on to their phones as long as they work. This computer here, where you are seeing me on this computer, it's a MacBook. Do you know how old is it? It was purchased in 2013. 2013. It's still functional, and I'm still using it. Others have purchased 3, 4, 5, just because somebody told them, hey, you are missing out on the new. 2013. It's still working. It's one of the most used things. Every day it works for more than 8 hours, every single day. When I go out to do a presentation, this thing has gone everywhere with me. Yeah, it's older than some of the people here. You will never influence me to buy a new thing when this one is working. You will never do that. I'm not missing out because it's functional. It's working. The phone that I'm using, this phone that I'm using here, you can see it. Right. It's an iPhone 12. I don't know which one you are using. And I'm not judging you. I don't know why you bought it. Probably you needed it. But what I'm just saying is that you don't buy new things simply because the seller of the thing is telling you there's something new. Now, if the old one didn't work, why are they taking them from you? They are saying, bring us that. We'll give you a lesser value for it, and then we'll give you a new, and then you pay the difference. Guess what? What do they do with the one that you give them? They sell, they make money twice. I am not dumb. I am not dumb. I will never allow somebody to cheat me out of my money like that. Hard-earned money. To make twice the amount with my own money. So what do the prudent do? They hold on to take gadgets that are still working. Don't be forced by the seller or by the Jones to buy anything new and replace the old that is still functioning. Hear me, I'm not saying go and look for your flip phone. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that don't allow anybody to force you to make a financial decision that is not good for you. Imagine what they do. After you have purchased it, they say, just give us $50 per month. Not $50 per month. And it looks very, very little. I mean, $50. But here's the question. What if you put that $50 away in an investment account where you earn interest? Not just interest, compound interest over years. While you are paying Apple and Samsung, some of the richest companies on the face of the earth, somebody is making the same amount, but investing for their future. At the end of it all, you can't compare with them. And we are saying because we are children of God and kingdom citizens, we cannot make those kinds of decisions. Keep the phone that you have, keep the TV that you have, keep all the gadgets that you have. Only sell or buy a new when the one that you have is broken. Even when other things are broken, repair them for cheap. There are people who get rid of their phones just because the screen is cracked, when you can replace it for $100 and avoid paying $1,000. That's what smart people do. And use the disposable income to benefit your future through investments. Number 5, extracurricular activities for children. Anybody who is a parent knows the amount of pressure that they get from their kids. There are parents who have become like vending machines. They've allowed themselves to become their kids' vending machines. Whatever they ask, they give. Extracurricular activity for kids and toys, unnecessary toys for kids and gadgets for kids. Parents often feel pressured to enroll their kids in expensive extracurricular activities just to match their peers. Oh, they are going to this dancing class, they are going to this, they are going to this, they are going to this. And you know you cannot afford it. But simply because Tom and Mary, the neighbors, are sending their kids there, we feel obliged to do so. So, and again, understand me, there's nothing wrong in enrolling your children for that if you have made the necessary investment for their future. What will it benefit your child to learn ballet dancing if they don't have a custodial account for their future and for college? There's nothing wrong with them joining these activities and learning to necessary skills. But there are some extracurricular activities that are not necessary. Here are the list of necessary skills that your kids need to learn. Number one, swimming. Very necessary. You want to make sure that your son or daughter is able to swim because it can mean life or death. Number two, music, if they are musically inclined. Music, even if they are not, music has been attributed to the development of the brain, something that is good. Some sporting activity, at least one for their movement, so that they don't become obese, so that they can go out of the house and run and sweat and remain fit and healthy. All other things that we do are unnecessary. They cause us to overspend on fees and equipment and travel. Stretching on our budgets are necessary just because the neighbor's kids are going there. And the kids come and they guilt trip us. Mom and dad, everybody is doing that. All of my friends are doing that. Oh, then that means that that's not something that we're going to do. We don't make financial decisions because everybody's doing it. It becomes a learning experience for your children. Every child must know that when they use that statement, all of my friends are doing it, everybody's doing it, then they must know that that thing is not going to happen. Why is that important? It's because if you don't tame that, that is what we call keeping up with the Joneses. It's only happening at a kid's level. So when a child comes to you, to us or to you and says, I need this, I want this because every one of my friends has it, then it's a reason to deny it from them. Why? Because we don't buy things, we don't make financial decisions based on what others are doing. Show me a parent who enforces that rule, and I'll show you a parent who is raising wealth builders. Number 6, social events and dining out. Social events and dining out. There's nothing wrong with social events and dining out. There's nothing wrong with that. But the question is, what is the frequency? What is the frequency? And what is the cost of that? Can we afford it? Is it budgeted for? Are we going for social events and mingle with people so that we just feel important, so that others can also see that, we also do these things, while we are doing that at the expense of our future financially? These little amounts, they add up. Number 7, and the last one for today. We could go on and on. Home decor. Decorating the home is nothing wrong with that. But there's a new thing where people are going all out to buy expensive decorations just because the neighbors are doing it. They say, oh man, our decorations are outdated compared to the lifestyles of our neighbors. And then we embark on a spending spree for brand new furniture, for brand new appliances, for brand new decorative items, for brand new $6,000 wall hangings, picture frames, just because our neighbors have them. Never impress neighbors with anything that you purchase on credit. Just be you and build your wealth. Invest in education. Yes, I said invest in financial literacy education. Learn how to do these things. Go deeper into it. Read books. Get coached on a one-on-one basis. Develop yourself. Learn biblical financial principles. Apply them. Give a blind eye to the neighbors and what they are doing, and soon they will be envying you. Keep driving that old vehicle. It's reliable and takes you from point A to B. Keep driving it. If it's fixable, fix it. Maintain it in good shape. While their neighbors are rolling in $50,000 SUVs, struggling to pay them monthly, being stressed to the extent of not being able to sleep peacefully. You can't trade that for the peace and comfort that comes from living debt-free, stress-free, depression-free, anxiety-free, while you make your life better each day. May God bless you. I hope you have learned something today. If you desire to know more, and if you are serious about taking your life to the next level, I invite you to keep coming every week, every Thursday, at the same time. For as long as we are alive, we will be here. But should you want to accelerate your knowledge, then we invite you to sign up for one-on-one financial literacy coaching and watch yourself grow from where you are to where you want to be. The lifestyle that you want to live, the good life that you're looking for, the stress-free, debt-free life that you want is only a few decisions away. being guided by a coach, being held accountable, you can transform your life, and your life will never be the same again. So if you desire that, Coach Lucy is going to share with you a link to sign up for one-on-one consultation, which is free of charge for 1 hour or 55 minutes, to be specific, where I will sit down with you, assess your financial standing, identify the areas of growth, custom make a financial literacy course for you, and going through it for a minimum of 90 days. Minimum of 90 days. Committing to a minimum of 90 days, the more the better. Because behaviors are built through a lengthy period of time. And watch your life change drastically. So, again, Coach Lewis is going to share with you the link. Should you desire to do that, please do. But if your budget does not allow you to do that now, then save for it. You can sign up for a one-on-one, which is free, so that you can understand the value that comes with it. And then after you have understood it, then you can save for it, and then come back when you are ready to do it. Plan for it. And your life will never be the same again. All of us who are here as coaches, we did not start where we are. We started somewhere. For me, it was when I was 30 years old when I started learning about this. I didn't start young. I wish I knew, but I didn't. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. The decision that you make today will not only impact your future, but will impact the future generation, your children and their children. You can do that. You can make a decision today to break the yoke of poverty for the rest of your life and the rest of your children's life. You stand in a position today to make decisions so that your children and their children will never be broke again. They will never struggle again. But it requires intentionality and investing in you in order to do that. Should you also desire to be a coach, a financial literacy coach, there's a difference. There's a difference, right? A kingdom or Christian financial literacy coach is different from a financial advisor or coach out there, because everything that we teach is aligning with my beliefs and our beliefs as Christians. I will never teach you anything that doesn't align with the Bible. And should you want to be a financial literacy coach or a Christian financial literacy coach, then do the same. Use the same link to request that we go on a 55-minute consultation free of charge, where I'll sit down with you. It doesn't matter where you are right now. In the process of coaching itself, we do both. We do your personal coaching to prepare you, and also how you can teach others to do the same. I cannot do this on my own. Join me in this. May God bless you. Over to you, Coach Lucy.
Thank you so much, Coach Isaac, for such a wonderful presentation yet again. We keep learning and learning every Thursday, and we thank you for your time and commitment to holding our hands for us to grow and for that to be transformation in our lives. We don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. At this point, I'd also like to thank everyone for joining. Thank you for your commitment and dedication to growth. And I'd love to give a special shout out as well to the new people who just joined us for the first time. I'm seeing new names that I'd love to recognize and tell you thank you for joining. We love guests, but the news is that we want you to be family. So we are hoping that this is your first time and to be a guest, but we are inviting you to be family so you can join us every Thursday at this time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'd just like to mention Delia Scones. Thank you so much for joining. If you're able to, you can unmute yourself and tell us where you're watching us from and how you learned about Kingdom Financial Institute. We appreciate your feedback and we'd love to get in touch with you as well. I'd like to give a shout out to Elizabeth Wambui. Thank you for joining us. I can tell where you're watching from. I know it's late it's very early in the morning, so thank you for joining us. I see another name, Isaac at Ada Plus Studio. Thank you so much for joining. So if you're new or this is your first time joining us, let me know where you're watching us from. You can type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. So feel free to do so. And while we wait for our new people to do that, if you have a question, please feel free to also type it in the chat and we will be sure to answer your questions at this time. I see ITEL as well. I'm not sure who ITEL is, but if it's your first time as well, please feel free to unmute yourself and let us know where you're watching us from or how you heard about Kingdom Financial Institute. And I also sent the consultation link in the chat. So please feel free to book a one-on-one consultation with Coach Isaac. He will be there to answer your questions and to let you know how he can work with you in your customized journey to financial freedom. Wow, none of our new people want to share with us where they're watching us from or how they got to know about us. Any questions? I'm also gonna type our email address. So if you have any questions beyond the sessions, please feel free to send us an email at kingdomfinancialinstitute@gmail.com. Right, since we have no questions or comments, I see Isaac is watching us from Kenya. Thank you so much, Isaac. And I'm assuming Elizabeth Wambo is also watching us from Kenya. So thank you so much for your time and dedication. It's probably 4 or 5 a.m. in Kenya. Same to Timothy, who's watching us from Kenya. Thank you so much for your dedication. And I know Marcy Chipeta is also watching us very early in the morning, wherever she's watching us from. Thank you, Delia. I hope I mentioned your name. I pronounced your name right. Thank you for joining us. I see someone saying Denise William is new. No, Rachel Denise is not new. She's been with us for a while, but thank you for recognizing her. She's actually one.
Unless she's a new Denise.
Okay. She should tell us if it's our coach Denise or it's a new Denise. But thank you for recognizing her and for joining us tonight. All right, I see we have no questions, but in case you have a question any other time, please feel free to reach out to us again at kingdomfinancialinstitute@gmail.com and we'll be sure to answer your questions. I'd love to wind up with a word of prayer. So let's pray. Thank you, Lord, for this wonderful session that we just had. Thank you for everyone who set out that time to come and learn and grow King of Glory. Thank you because this time that they have invested will soon bear fruit and they will reap the seeds, the fruits of their actions, King of Glory. Thank you for all the families represented here. May you please remember each one of them and meet them at their specific points of need and help them to remember to give you praise and glory, King. Thank you for even the people who will be watching us later on. May you be with them and help them to achieve their financial goals. Thank you for the rest of the Kingdom Financial Institute team. May you continue empowering them and blessing them to keep doing what they do. And thank you once again for Coach Isaac. May you please keep empowering him to keep pouring into our cups. In Jesus' name I pray, believing and trusting. Amen. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We love your presence and we appreciate your presence. We will see you next week, same time. Use the same link you used to join today, and we will have a great time. And remember to invite someone so that they can also benefit. And in case you're not able to join us live for the sessions, we post these recordings on our YouTube page, Kingdom Financial Institute. So look out for that on YouTube, and you can catch up with all our recordings, and you can share that with people as well who may not be able to be here for the live recordings, and tell them about the one-on-one consultations, because with those ones, Coach Isaac is able to customize and work with your time. So in case you know someone who needs these sessions, I posted the link in the chat. So feel free to refer to it. I can post it again. And Coach Isaac will be sure to make sure that you are taken care of. Right. We will see you next week. Have a lovely rest of your week. Bye.